So once in a while, I get this on my YouTube. He's a dancer, or they'll say, he's a ballerina, or they'll say something ridiculous, like, what a juggler. Like, these are bad things. Like, oh no, that really hurts my feelings because you called me a cheerleader or a ballerina or a juggler, things that take years of cultivation to be awesome at. I think they're trying to insult me, but do they realize that what I'm teaching is not a self-defense? Is there ever a time where I'm like, here is how you defend yourself. Throw the nunchuck in the air, hit him in the head like a boomerang, and it will come back into your hand magically, like the X-Men. No, it doesn't happen like that because I'm not teaching a martial art. I mean, I'm teaching, it's an art form. It's a form of self-expression. It's called flow arts. It derives off martial arts. It takes some of even the combat moves, but we round it off and we create our own energy so we can flow with ourselves. The benefits that it provides is great, though. For instance, it can create self-confidence. It can turn you into a performer. It can get you out there performing in front of people, or it could also be internal. It can bring you to your Zen, an active form of meditation. If you had a hard day at work, you can grab your nunchucks and spin it out and feel better. If you're feeling sad, you can devote that energy into movement, and that makes you an artist, and that's a beautiful thing. But there's a danger, too, and it's not actually with me teaching you how to flow with yourself. There's a danger with a lot of martial arts that we see, and maybe they're trying to address this, and that's okay if they are, because I think this should be talked about, especially on YouTube. And there's a lot of martial arts out there like this too, and that's calling it one thing but then doing another. You're calling it self-defense, but you're doing it. You're just making flashy motions. It's a lie. It's a fabrication. It's a way to sell it. And oh my gosh, even on YouTube, you'll see people that will call this self-defense, but then they'll just throw out some flashy move that really will not help you. And the problem with that is that can be dangerous. That can be dangerous because real life is chaotic. Real life doesn't wait for you. Okay, so you throw the punch, and then he blocks it, and then he sweeps you off the ground, and then kicks you in the stomach, and then punches you in the face 3 times and turns your wrist while the other guy just stands still. It doesn't happen that way. Okay? It doesn't happen that way where you might even have time to do any flourishes or anything. It's chaotic. Like when I did self-defense myself, we threw dirt in their eyes, we would kick them in the kneecap, we'd poke their eyes, we would grab objects and throw it at them because we did whatever it took to take that guy out or to make him unconscious or to make him unable to follow us. We would do dirty, cheap secrets, and we got really good at it. That, to me, is self-defense. Now, martial arts is beautiful. Martial arts is beautiful. Like, there are so many, like Kung Fu, oh my God, right? A Kung Fu movie, there's like nothing like it. But the thing is that I think that can be dangerous is when you're doing what I'm doing. I'm doing flow arts. I'm saying this is self-expression, but then you're calling it self-defense. And we have a problem with that. And I think it's because you get more views if you do the flashy moves, or you get more attention if you do the flashy moves. And then the odds of you actually being in a confrontation are probably really small. And the other thing is that it does build foundations to self-defense. For instance, if you got really fast kicks, I mean, kicks are awesome, right? You could just knock someone out with one kick. But whenever you deal with rules, or whenever you deal with games, I think even whenever it's just kind of fun, to me, that's just playing. We're doing a form of dance. At least there's a little bit of a dance in there, because the real stuff is chaotic. And it's just very precise. It's very brutal. You're just getting the job done. It's very efficient. You're like very machine-like. But, I mean, that doesn't sell, and that doesn't keep people in dojos, and that doesn't keep people watching YouTube videos. So it's coming out as entertainment. It's coming out as entertainment, but it's being called self-defense. It's being called martial arts. It's being called effective. And what it does is it builds people, and so they'll train it. Maybe they'll train it on YouTube or whatever. They'll train it, and they'll have this false sense of security that may get them extremely hurt should they actually come into a confrontation and they realize that everything that they've learned is not really applicable. It was just for show. It's just because that guy wanted some hits or they wanted to get their sales for their dojo. Here's the thing, is if you're doing martial arts, but you're really just doing what I'm doing, just learn it from me, because I will show you all the flourishes, every flourish I know. I'm not going to call it martial arts. So what can I do that's different is I can go all the way. I don't hold back. I don't throw in a little bit of fighting in there and try to make it to where it's somewhat believable as a fighting style. so I could sell it better, I can go all the way, because I'm telling you right now, this is self-expression. The martial artists that are really doing it for dance, it's awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is awesome, but they're just doing what I'm doing. They're just doing what I'm doing, and except for they're just calling it something else, which is kind of the deceit in all of that. But the thing is that when I teach it, I can go all the way, because I'm not trying to teach you how to fight, and I'm not going to try to sell it as a way to fight. I'm teaching you how to express yourself. So in a way, you know, just keep watching my channel. That's my pitch. There's nothing wrong with doing martial arts and having fun, or doing it as a sport, or doing it even as a dance, okay? Because those are parts of martial arts, but it's also really important to be clear. So if the time ever came down to it and you really needed it, you would use the right tools to get the job done.